In a world where action movies are made, not all action movies are created equal. Only the best make it into the Action Movie Hall of Fame.
Knock, knock. Can you fly, Bobby?
There can be only one.
And action. Hi, I'm Matt Brand.
And I'm Derek Bordelot, and this week we're coming to you from the Maximum Security Fury 161 Outer Vale Mineral Ore Refinery Double Y Chromosome Work Correction Facility.
Grab your clippers and join me and Dylan and Clemens and Golik and Andrews and Aaron and Morse and Rains and Junior and Murphy and Frank and Boggs and Jude and David and Troy and William and Gregor and Arthur and Kevin and Eric and Derek on this week's episode of the Action Movie Hall of Fame, where each episode we do a deep dive on an action movie, and we have to decide if it belongs, if it should be in our Action Movie Hall of Fame. Now, it probably goes without saying,
We're
Derek,
so winded.
but a long intro, but there are going to be spoilers of Alien 3. Derek, I just spoiled what we're watching. Derek, what are we watching this week?
Alien 3.
All right, let's check it out.
Let me see if I have this correct, Lieutenant. It's an 8-foot creature of some kind with acid for blood, and it arrived on your spaceship. It kills on sight and is generally unpleasant. And of course, you expect me to accept all this, your word.
No, I don't expect anything.
Quite a story, Mr. Aaron.
Right, sir. It's a beauty. Never heard anything quite like it, sir.
Expect not. Tell me, Lieutenant, what would you suggest we do?
Well, what kind of weapons have you got?
This is a prison. It's not a good idea to allow prisoners access to firearms.
Keeps them from killing you.
Fear? There's no way to escape. With the arrival of the next supply ship, the company would eliminate.
This is a maximum security prison. And you have no weapons of any kind?
That's Ellen Ripley once again making her case that there is, in fact, an alien in 1992's Alien 3.
Yeah, directed by David Fincher, known for Seven, The Game, Fight Club, Panic Room, Zodiac, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Gone Girl. I just wanted to make that point out because he's made a lot of really good movies.
Yes, he's a great director.
Yes.
Okay.
And also Alien 3.
Yeah. First movie.
Yeah.
Starring Sigourney Weaver as Ripley, Charles S. Dutton as Dylan, Charles Dance as Tywin Lannister, just joking, as Clemens, and Lance Hendrickson as Bishop 2.
And this movie in 1992 had a budget of $50 million with a worldwide gross of $160 million. So
okay.
It did okay.
So people who saw Aliens movies and generally liked them went to see it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably one time.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes score, 46 for the critics, 46 from the audience.
Yeah.
Incredible. That doesn't happen too often where just like everyone just agrees.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's 2022. We're agreeing on something. That's nice. Even though that was 30 years ago. Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. So just a reminder, we are watching the movie. We have it on the background and, we're easily distracted. People.
Yes.
So we will get distracted by it, but we'll try to explain what we're seeing as it happens. Also, rate and review this thing. And,
please.
And then we'll be famous.
Yeah.
What? That's not the goal, though. But we want more ears on this.
Yeah.
And the more ears we get, the more we can have audience involvement, and you can have a say in what becomes enshrined into our Action Movie Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So, Derek, last week we did one of our parking lot reviews. We went and saw The Northman.
Yes, we did.
I think we were both favorable on that coming out of it. Any changes of heart later, a week later? How are you feeling?
I don't think so. No, I would say after a week, I want to see it again more. I've been thinking a lot about it, and it's just, there's a lot going on in that movie, and I think it's a smaller epic, but it's an epic because there's not that many people in the movie, but I really want to see it again. I've been thinking a lot about it, and yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but like his other movies, I don't know the next time I'm going to want to watch it, personally.
Even this one.
Even this one.
Like, I understand the other two.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel I feel the same way, and I have to say, I think maybe part of that is, I think of his 3 movies. I think this is actually maybe my least favorite after marinating on it for the past week.
Oh, okay.
Still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But 5 years from now will be an interesting watch for sure for
Yeah,
this show.
definitely.
Okay, Derek, let's take a step back in time. Many steps back in time?
Yeah.
30 years worth?
30? Oh, no. It's 1992?
It's 1992.
Oh, that's line dancing to Achy Breaky Heart in junior high.
I don't-
That doesn't deserve harps. That's a nightmare.
Also, a bit of a nightmare. Aliens, they're back. Alien 3, did you see this when it came out? I did not see this when it first came out.
No, I was 12 and I didn't see this one when it first came out. I saw it when it came out on video.
Right on.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder, but I feel like I might have seen the other. How old was I when I saw the original 2? I feel like I was pretty young. But anyway.
I was pretty young for sure.
This one, I don't know why, never was not one I felt like I needed to watch, never really thought about. I think I saw it for the first time maybe just 5 years ago. Because I saw that David Fincher was the director. I had never made that connection before.
Okay.
I'm like, well, I need to go back and watch this. You know what? I must have seen it, but I was like, I have to give it another watch because now I know who David Fincher is. Like, I must have been very young when I saw it, now that I'm thinking of it, because I wanted to rewatch it to see how David Fincher did. And yikes.
Yeah.
I remember not liking it. I remember really not liking it 5 years ago. I think it was generally had a lot to do with the CGI, if I'm being completely honest. Like,
I mean,
there's a lot of really bad alien CGI in
that's
this
fair.
Really sticks out.
Yes, that's fair. But also, like, for me, when I saw it, I may have watched it again sometime later, but again, this movie for me, what I remember from it seeing in 92 was it takes place in a prison and it was very boring and bland. That's my memory of Alien 3.
Yes.
And watching it this week, I don't think I was that far off the mark.
I think you're right. I'm just I like that word bland. I like, and it's such a good point because, I mean, I think there are things to like in this movie, but yeah, just the color palette.
This movie,
it's just so one note.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
This movie is the scenery in this movie is so forgettable.
Pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
And also, like, I get the feeling like it's a huge complex, and so one thing I have trouble with in this movie is just where am I in this complex, whereas
there's no awareness. Yeah.
I think the other movies you have a pretty good sense of where you are geographically and sense to where the alien might be in that geography. Okay, Derek, I don't know why you're tasked with this. God bless you for doing so. But
here we go.
You need to tell us exactly what is the plot of this movie.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you. After the events in Aliens, Ripley crash lands on a Weyland Company prison colony planet. As she waits for a rescue team, prisoners begin to be brutally murdered, and Ripley immediately realizes she was not the lone survivor of the crash. Now Ripley, together with a group of ruthless criminals, must hunt the monster before they become its next meal. At the same time, they have to prevent the Weyland Corporation from bringing the alien killing machine back to Earth.
Okay, yeah, I lean back and I close my eyes.
I saw that.
And I listen intently to how Derek explains the plot. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I was going to leave out the last bit there about the Weyland, the Space Marines, wanting to bring it back, because it's the third movie in a row where they are doing that. And you're just like, guys, just something different.
So, mixed reviews for the film, as we mentioned, for Rotten Tomatoes. I think fair to say, regarded as not as good as the first two. I think fair to say.
I think this is very disappointing.
Fincher disowned this movie after it came out. What did he? blaming studio interference and deadlines. Kind of a weak excuse, personally, but just entertain this question for me, Derek. What if David Fincher were to make an Aliens movie today and had all the time in the world?
And had money and time? Yeah, I'm sure it'd be great.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the things that surprises me the most about watching it this time is knowing it's David Fincher, having seen all of his movies. A big theme in his movies is atmosphere and the feeling, and like you feel like you're there and it's dreadful, even though it's just a murder mystery or a Gone Girl where somebody's gone missing, or Seven where it's just, a murder mystery. But in this, he could have created such an atmosphere, but it's so boring. There is no tension throughout this movie whatsoever.
No.
And for David Fincher, that is shocking to me. He made Social Network about creating Facebook tense, right?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I think a couple things that work there for me, certainly. So I would say just the color palette, again, like it's just
brown.
dark and dreary and just like it's never exciting just to look at.
Yeah.
As far as like, it's just so bland. It's like looking at a desert almost. I mentioned off the top all the different characters in this movie, and they're all bald.
They're all
and
hop-shaped
it's just
heads.
really hard to tell who apart. There's no real development of any of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At all.
And for me, what takes me out of it too is just that alien. We see it too much. I think it actually looks pretty good when it's
A puppet?
yeah, looks great.
It looks really good.
But there's so much of the CGI of it that is bad.
So
It just takes me right out of it.
like, it's funny because when I was watching it, I saw shades of the T-1000.
Yeah,
But the T-1000, when the CGI looked really bad, it was at inconsequential moments.
yeah.
This is like the aliens hunting them, and it looks ridiculous.
It looks like I am doing shadow puppets on the wall.
Yeah.
And also, is this an action movie?
I mean, it is to be fair to us, it is listed as an action horror.
Is it?
I just
Okay.
want to be clear.
Okay.
It is listed as an action horror. So
I started watching it and I looked it up in a few places and it didn't say action.
it's on IMDb. It says action horror.
Woo!
But it's neither.
Woo! We are
There's
in the clear.
It is neither scary nor actiony.
nor action filled. Fair enough. I guess the next question. It's not on a good track right now. Just gonna be honest. Not looking good for Alien 3. But
Yes.
steaks. You smell the steaks?
I smell them. They smell good.
I mean, I hear the steaks. I don't know if I smell the steaks.
Well, I smell these steaks, not in the movie.
Oh, yeah, different steaks.
Different steaks.
What are the steaks in this movie?
That's the thing, right?
The alien queen inside her might take over the world if they don't dispose of it.
If they bring it to Earth, yes, that's the stakes. But I mean, more local, it's Ripley and the people there, right?
It changes a little bit. Like at first, like other alien movies, it's about survival, and then it's about how do we stop this from getting loose on the rest of the populace of the world.
Yeah, no, that's all three of them.
Exactly, but I think that's not always the case. Like, I mean, they're trying to kill it here, but when she finds it inside of her, then it becomes like we have to get rid of them. We can't let them be taken back to Earth.
Yes, okay. But the funny thing about the local stakes, right, of Ripley and those people is all these people are terrible people. Why should we care about them? They make a point over and over and over to say these are terrible humans, rapists, murderers, yada, yada, yada. Okay, Xenomorph, you can have them.
Yeah.
Like, Ripley, get out of there. Fine. Yes.
I mean, and she even puts her name on that, right? She tells them, like, I've been with two other crews who are completely deemed indispensable for this thing, and that was like, one was like
the Nostromo salvage vessel or something.
I mean, they're just salvagers, so
Yeah.
I could see how they'd be dispensable, but U.S. Marines,
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Like, so prisoners, to your point, and to her point, who cares about you guys?
Yes.
Who cares about Dylan and Clemens and Golik and Andrews and Aaron and Morris and Rains. I don't read them all. You see where I'm going with this. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, why would they care about these guys? The stakes, I don't care about any of them. None of them show redeeming qualities. Even like it feels
They
like
try. They try with Dylan and Clemens. Well, Clemens anyway. Yeah.
Well, they do with Dylan, and that's the Charles S. Dutton character. And they come close a few times, but every time they do, it's like he himself is like, I'm a bad person. You don't want to mess with me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess, even so, I don't know.
He doesn't want to shed that persona. Like, he wants it.
Maybe the only other person we feel bad for is Tywin Lannister, the doctor.
Yeah, Clemens.
She has a brief romance with him.
Yeah.
But
Which I don't blame her. I mean, she's been out there for a while.
Very forward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I mean, he is early on like a likable character, but he's killed off quite early in the movie.
Yeah, well, that's the other.
So there's nothing. It's not like where we meet like Hicks in another movie or other characters that make it through to the end with her. It's just like which of these random prisoners are going to be often just by happenstance. Who's going to be left with her at the end?
Yeah,
maybe not someone we particularly care about or even know their name. Like the two that make it with her towards the end.
I have no idea what their names are.
I think one of them's like 85, the guy that keeps.
Oh yeah, 85. Yeah, for his IQ.
but I mean, even him, it's like he wasn't interesting. Like
no,
and
not
he
at
was
all.
a character they really tried to give a background to. Like I've got a wife, I've got kids, but
you don't see enough of them.
Well, he just says it. It's like
right. Yeah.
In the other Aliens movies, they would just there might be a moment with that character alone in a pod looking at a video that their family sent them from, that had to travel 3 years through deep space to get to, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Then we would get a sense of like, okay, this is why I might care about them. But it's like, I've got a wife and kids. That's
very heavy-handed.
I need more to care about, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I found it really funny, like you mentioned, Clemens or Tywin Lannister, that they kill off quite early. The minute we find out why he's in prison, which we're supposed to be a little bit sympathetic to him because he shouldn't be in a prison like this for what he did.
No.
They kill him. He's done. He's out of the movie.
Gonzo.
So you feel a little bit of sympathy for him. You're like, yeah, he doesn't need to be in here with these bad guys. And then boom, the alien bites his head off. It was pretty good.
All right, let's get into how this movie how it starts. So just like the opening, I kind of like to just... Hey, all these movies start somewhere. So I think it's interesting to kind of just go through the practice of where do these start.
This will be funny because this happened to us before. This is clearly the extended version that I did not watch.
Oh.
I watched a 2-hour version.
Lucky.
It was actually an hour 55. That's on Disney Plus right now. So I didn't watch. None of this happened in mine.
So where does the movie start?
It starts with them opening, like she crashes on the planet. Doesn't see this. They open the pod and she's in the pod. None of this happens in the regular movie.
Oh.
And then it goes to her here. Well,
more or less. So whatever, she crash lands.
Yeah.
A part of the ship she was in ejects into the ocean. Everyone dies on board except Ripley. So Hicks is gone.
Newt
is gone.
Yeah.
Was there someone else on board?
Bishop,
right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Which is just hilarious to me.
And I forget what happened to Jonesy, if I'm being completely honest.
Oh, Jonesy was from Alien, the first one. He wasn't even in Aliens.
Jonesy was in Aliens at the beginning.
Yes. He stayed on wherever they were.
That's right.
Yeah. But what a lazy way, just be like, I can't write these 3 characters into this story, so let's just kill them. Like, they're done.
I don't even know why she's in this movie. I don't know why she ever agreed to do this.
I know. It surprised me.
They end up doing. I mean, I kind of like how they set this up. If you hadn't seen this before, up until the first, I think 15-20 minutes of this is like, it's setting up something here. Like it's not.
Yeah.
There's no bad CGI. Maybe like a little bit with like the outer space.
I was going to say this to you. Your crash landing and everything looked way better than the one on Disney Plus. Yeah, you were lucky.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I mean, I think the autopsy of, you don't really see it, but Newt there's an autopsy, and then Ripley's making the case that all these bodies should be burned because she wants to
Just
make
in
sure
case,
that
yeah.
there's no cholera, quote unquote.
Yeah.
She really wants to make sure that the alien's gone, but she's not telling them that.
But it's so weird though, because it takes her so long to check herself.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess she could think, because in the previous two movies, when you got a face hugger, the alien came out of you relatively quickly.
Totally.
Now I'm just assuming in this movie it took Ripley a long time because it was the Queen.
Yeah.
That's what it's never explained, it's never told, but that's my assumption. I think
I agree.
It's kind of reasonable.
I think I agree. That was the only conclusion I came to, because
Right.
it's really the only difference, right?
Yeah, but why didn't she scan herself earlier? Why did she wait so long? She's clearly scared of this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a little thing, but you're just like, I think Ripley would have scanned herself earlier. I think the writing of the story.
Well, maybe she would have scanned herself right away, but again, maybe she would have thought that this would have happened immediately. Like it's like COVID. Like we know if we run into someone who's sick and 2 weeks later we're still fine, then we're probably okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. She knows the gestation period, presumably.
Yeah, that's okay.
Topical.
Well done. Well done.
But I think this does set it up. It's like we know that it could be there somewhere. I gotta say, Ripley's bloodshot eye looked totally
So
amazing.
awesome. So awesome.
And also, she has two things to worry about, and I think as we are both men, something we might not think about so often. But she's trapped in a place with violent rapists and criminals who are all men.
Yeah,
and she's the only woman there, so she has twice as much to worry about: a potential alien, plus all these people who would have every reason to, like, pent up aggression to just like unleash on her.
And I have to admit, it's pretty funny because there's a whole backstory of how this prison isn't really a prison anymore. It was like decommissioned and they're just staying there because they don't. Why? What a stupid story.
It doesn't make any sense.
Just make it a prison.
Yeah. Why not? It basically is, right?
It is, but they made this stupid backstory and the double Y chromosome thing. Do you remember hearing about that?
I don't really remember now.
I actually looked it up and it's so, if you're not going to explain what double Y means, double Y boy, I said double Y chromosome, but they call them double Y boys, then don't put it in the movie. If people have to look it up in 1992.
If people have to they have to go to their local library.
I mean, it's just weird decisions being made.
I do think generally, though, for the first like 20 minutes or so, it's doing a good job setting up what could be a good movie.
I agree. I do agree, because it is creating some tension between, as you said, both the prisoners and the alien's coming, right? It's called Alien 3. You know it's coming.
And so now, because we like to focus in on what we consider now the best scenes, we have to jump ahead about over an hour. So let's take a look at our first scene.
All right, let me get this straight. You want to burn it down and out of the pipes, force it here, slam the door, and trap its ass?
Right.
And you want help from us Y Chroma boys, huh?
You got something better to do?
Why should we put our ass on the line for you?
Your ass is already on the line. The only question is, what are you gonna do about it?
Yes, Ripley.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Ripley and Charles S. Dutton coming up with a plan that's not going to work. It's going to backfire. I've got this titled "The Plan Backfires." So they're painting.
I see what you did there.
They're like painting this, like they have like mops and they're putting this fuel everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically in this movie, there are two scenes we're going to be talking about. Just spoiler alert. And they both involve like the plan to capture and or kill the alien, right?
Yeah.
Like the first plan doesn't go according to plan. The second plan kind of goes according to plan.
Yeah.
What I get lost with in both instances is, where are we? What is the plan? How does it work? Like, I feel like I never really understand how they're trying to corral it to where they want it to go. Like an overhead map, something where they're pointing to things. Like, I want to know
Yeah.
the logistics of it. That's to me, that's what makes these movies work.
Yeah, because this is just a bunch of shots of tunnels.
Yeah.
Completely all look identical.
Exactly.
So you have no idea which one you're actually running down versus the other one. And yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, the plan is to set it on fire, set certain places on fire, so it'll force it into, where was this one going? Oh,
they had like some
the
certain
chemical
room.
waste, the nuclear waste thing.
Yeah, they had no way in or out.
Yeah, 6 foot thick steel walls or whatever. Yeah, so that was the plan. But I totally agree with you. There's nothing here. And what I find so funny throughout this movie, so they finally all believe her after they see the alien grab the superintendent of the prison, rip him through the roof, right? So that's when they all finally believe her.
Yes.
But now they're still walking nonchalantly about just like just walking on paint in the floor. This 8-foot acid bleeding monster could be right behind you, and nobody cares. It's crazy to me.
I mean, and because you brought it up, it's so heavy-handed when the head of the jail's like, there is no monster, and then is eaten in front of everybody.
One of my favorite
2
parts.
seconds later. It's just like, this alien's got a little bit of a sense of humor. I appreciate this alien. You think they're just all menace, but they got a funny side.
They definitely got comedic timing.
Maybe it's just because it birthed itself from a cow. Maybe the cow is funnier than people.
No, it was a dog.
Was that a dog?
It was a Rottweiler. What? Oh, we may have watched 2 different movies here. Mine was a Rottweiler. Very clearly.
Pretty sure it was a cow.
They changed the movie that much? Why is there a cow in the prison?
I mean,
meat?
They're drinking milk at one point.
I suppose.
That milk's got to go from somewhere. Where are they getting Coca-Cola? Like, I don't understand the supplying of this
every
place.
6 months.
I don't know. It just seems a little like it seems like they had a lot of stuff for people that that society shouldn't care about anymore.
Yes, I agree. But let's get back to the scene here because we got a little off. This is one of the few good scenes of the movie.
So yeah, they are like applying this this oil or fuel via mop all around the place.
Yeah,
and classic. One guy's in some sort of shaft of some sort, and I don't know. He's got, what is it, like some sort of detonator or like a stick of dynamite?
I think it's more like a flare.
Okay.
Yeah,
and he thinks he hears something. Classic alien eats him from up top. He drops whatever, the flare or whatever, and actually I think one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Because there has to be something. Is that the slow motion flare falling? It's going to be bad, and there's actually like a decently sized explosion.
Yeah,
lots of people getting lit on fire. It's a cool little scene, and then the music is actually quite good as well. But again, there is some CGI here that looks really bad too.
Of the explosion a little bit? Or are you talking about just the alien?
I think the alien shows up, at some point. Yeah. What do you think of this scene generally?
Well, again, it's really funny because you're getting an extended version of it. In clearly the director's cut, maybe, I don't know, but
why would there ever be time taken to put out a different
I have
version?
No idea.
Like maybe clean up the CGI of whatever you had. I don't know. To make this movie longer seems insane.
I'm really happy that mine was not 2 hours and 25 minutes. But
I have to say, sorry, I didn't hate this movie.
Okay, me too. I agree.
Because it sounds like we're destroying it.
Yes.
Because it's got problems. But for the most part, like, I'm not hating it.
It's not boring. It's not, yeah. I mean, I guess we can get into it at the end, but
I think a big problem with it, for me, is character development.
Zero. Yeah. There's none.
Where that's a huge part of the other movies. You care, even if you don't like the characters, you care.
No, total.
They're real.
You're invested.
There might not be it's like Bill Paxton's character. It's like, you might not love him, but you at least get him as he seems real.
Yeah.
He seems real, and all these guys kind of
Well, a
lot of these prisoners are like over the top.
We got to keep coming back to the fact, like, yeah, they have in Alien Alien and Aliens, they have the great scenes of sitting around the table, getting to know the team. And I agree with you. You don't have to like every one of them. But in this case, we are meant to hate them. So that's what's so, and we do. And they're all faceless, like you mentioned before. They're all complete. They all look exactly the same. So I don't know who's who.
No.
I honestly don't know who I should care about.
I mean, those names I'm reading off at the beginning, I mean, they're basically all the same name, too. Like,
Yeah.
they're just generic names.
Yeah, there's nothing that differentiates them from one another at all. So it is,
And there's so many of them, like, I feel like they're just there simply to be picked off, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's the point of them.
It's like, because there are some cool death scenes in the first, like, hour or so
Yeah.
of the movie. It's like, and these guys are just fodder for all that.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but we have to care about at least some of them.
yeah, you're not supposed to.
Hey, we don't have to care about Hobbs and Dylan and Rains and June. Like, we have to care about all of them, but we have to care about a couple.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. You're not supposed to be cheering for the xenomorph. I mean, they're all terrible criminals.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I guess we're really just hoping Ripley gets out, right? That's it.
Basically, yeah. And the alien doesn't come to Earth, because that would be terrible.
We trap it here first, then you pull the lever. Start the piston. And the piston's gonna push the motherfucker right into the mold. And one of the guys will pour the lead. End of his ass. End of story.
If somebody screws it up.
We're fucked. You got one chance, one shot at it, that's all. We'll never have time to reset it. Now remember, when you pull the lever, for a few seconds, you're gonna be trapped in here with that fucking thing.
You guys don't drop the ball, I won't.
She's so badass.
She's great. She's great.
You never doubt that she's going to do her job, right? Like, to be totally clear, like, Sigourney Weaver is still holding up her end of the bargain.
Yeah, oh,
in
absolutely.
every aspect of
Yes.
this movie. But she can't make all these other characters good.
A
or
person,
something we
like
care
three-dimensional, yeah.
Ripley's still Ripley.
Yeah, like you mentioned it earlier, like her first fear in this before they knew there was the alien was just the criminals. She walked right up to them in the lunchroom and sat
Totally.
down and just like, yep,
Listen,
here I am. I'm not going to deal with this crap.
I fought an acid spitting alien.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of you.
Yes.
So once again, Ripley and Charles Heston hatching a plan to deal with the alien.
I watched this movie twice this week.
Oh no.
I don't know what the plan, like I know the plan is to get it into that thing.
Yeah.
But then after that, you pull the lever, why is she stuck in there for a little bit with the alien? I thought the whole point was you pull the lever, the thing starts going, you run out the door, you close it. That's it.
I think that was the plan.
But I don't know, man.
But I mean, I went back with both of the plans and listened specifically because I was like, maybe I was making notes. I'm like, I missed the plan. I have to go back and rewatch that to check it out. I would go back a couple times, like listen to the plan. Like, I still don't understand what the plan is. Like, generally, I get it. Use fire, make it go here. But where are we? Where is here?
Yeah.
Same thing with this. Where are the pistols? Like, they're running through these tunnels. I get the fact that I think they're running through all these different tunnels, and hopefully one of them will lead it to the main area that they need it to go.
The piston, yeah.
But they're like yelling out, I'm in A, he's in B.
There is no way they're hearing the yelling.
No way they're hearing the yelling, and there's no way we understand what any of that is other than them just saying letters.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're saying letters like we're supposed to understand, like, okay, it's in B now. Like, we have no idea where this is. It doesn't matter what they're saying. All of this is empty nonsense.
It's just complete nonsense. Yeah. And they run a lot. Like, there's a lot, and it's a pretty good shot. Like, so maybe that's why they just decided to do it. There's like the first person alien.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
Yes, absolutely. So to be clear, like, yeah, the camera moving like it's the alien's point of view, kind of like.
Yeah.
And also, I like when they had it on the roof and then it was chasing them and it was an upside down
it flipped
shot.
upside
down. That's fun. Like, and again, like, probably one of the better parts of the movie. So it's like, he like juiced it for all it's worth. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, in some ways, for me, like, this movie's like close. Like, if you take out some of the bad CGI, you should show the alien a little bit less. I mean, a lot of the death scenes are quite good, and if you have that all coupled with, like, here's how it's chasing them through the tunnels. Like that could work. And if
A
it's
shorter, tighter movie.
a shorter, tighter movie, and if we understand where they are, but that's a lot of ifs.
That's a lot of ifs, and it's a lot of work. And you glossed. I don't think you mentioned this. Caring about the characters too. That's a big part. Like I think about Dredd when I think about some movies like this. I wanted Judge Dredd and Anderson to make it out. I cared about them.
Yeah.
I was invested in those characters. Yes, of course I want Ripley to make it out. But everybody else, whenever anybody else is on screen, I don't really care. But so this movie, I agree with you. This movie for me is not as bad as I'm making it sound. We're picking on everything. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver was really good in this. And some of the action is good.
Yeah.
And for me, it was only 2 hours. So that,
And I do think like the directing, the camera movement, like you can see that
Yeah.
there's a good director here. But a little long, and then just, the CGI just too much. Another thing that really bothered me about this movie, and, help me try to figure this out. So we know that, or what Sigourney, what Ripley figures out is, I have this alien queen inside me. And because of that, this thing will not hurt me. Because there was a scene earlier where the alien kills Tywin Lannister.
that's right. Yeah.
And it comes right up next to her, and like is like its face is like right next to hers. It's like a famous kind of shot now, right? Where the alien
it's a cool
right
scene.
But I kind of like, why didn't it attack her? And then we find out later that she has this alien queen inside. She approaches it on purpose later in the movie.
She goes hunting for it. Yeah, that was cool.
Pretty badass. And she realizes it's not going to hurt me. So fast forward to where it's Charles S. Dutton and Ripley and the alien in the main room. They like finally get it where they wanted to, but things go awry. So they kind of change the plan to have it like follow them. It's following them, but it's because Charles S. Dutton has Ripley between him and the alien, right?
Yeah.
So my sense was the alien's like, well, I don't want him to hurt Ripley because the alien's inside of her, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want. I assume the alien, we're supposed to think, doesn't want to harm Ripley in any way.
Yeah.
So that's why Charles S. Dutton is able to move away from it. So when they get to the point where they're like climbing the wall, to get away, it's like he's like, Ripley, you go first, save yourself. But it's like, but the alien's not chasing Ripley. Right? Like, it's never chasing Ripley.
No, it's always going after him, yeah.
So, he should be using her as a shield the whole time. Like, how they didn't figure this out, I don't understand. Like, because he ended up...
Well, they wouldn't have been able to drop the lead on them. Well...
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean,
but
everybody would have died anyway.
But his point, he was still...
Yeah,
his whole thing is, I'm trying to live, and you're here to save me from dying. That's the only reason he was keeping her around. He didn't care about keeping the alien away from the rest of the world. He said that many times.
Yeah, oh yeah, no.
So that doesn't make any sense to me. But since we're here, I guess we got to bring it up.
Sense.
Forgive me. I have failed you all. No more me. You fool brave me.
It's our Boromir Memorial Award. Are we giving it to Charles S. Dutton for saving Ripley? But I don't know. I assume this was your nominee. We mentioned this.
I have. This actually wasn't my nominee. I have two other ones.
Oh, okay.
But for that, he kind of deserves it for the same way one of mine deserves it, is in that it's to save humanity. Killing the alien.
Yeah.
Is gonna. Like, it definitely didn't. I agree with you. It didn't save Ripley because it wasn't going to kill Ripley.
Right. But what I guess what I don't understand is, when did he have this change of heart? Because it would have been in a split-second decision, and it's like his character was about self-preservation up until he decided not to be at the very last second.
Yeah.
There was nothing like making it seem like he was going to go on that path, I guess, is my problem.
No, you're right. I agree.
Okay, so let's get into the other Boromirs. Who else did you have?
Well, Ripley.
Oh, well, okay.
Right, again,
hard to argue with that.
She had to do that. Now this one's questionable because I don't think he ended up saving anybody's life, but he did sacrifice himself. 85 when he hit Bishop, the real Bishop, over the head with the giant wrench.
All the applause. giant wrench, knocked his ear off. Like
Amazing.
it was, like, hanging off. Like
It was.
I would not still be talking.
He's just hanging out.
like, and yeah, I mean,
It was so gross, but it was so good.
so the real Bishop guy. I'm not continuing a conversation. I'm attending to my ear falling off.
Yeah.
Because not only that, I mean, not only is that disgusting and awful, like he hit him like pretty hard, like basically in the brain area. Like I'm not coherent. I'm just attending to that. Like, God, that would hurt. Is what I'm saying.
It's funny because when you saw him hit him, it looked almost harmless because it looked kind of like it got him more in the shoulder area.
I thought he might be dead. I disagree.
Then the camera pans
It
around.
was a comedically huge wrench.
It was hilarious.
Like it looked like a wrench like a cartoon dog would use to fix a fire hydrant. Just humongous.
That's exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow.
So Ripley and Ripley and 85. Those were mine.
Okay. Also, there's the guy. This is awful, and he's almost like what's the show? Another David Fincher show, a TV show, Mindhunters.
Mindhunters, yeah.
So this guy plays one of the cops, like one of the main two characters. He is the guy who tries to sexually assault Ripley.
Oh, is that him?
That's him.
Yeah.
Not a good character again. Like, and he barely talks that I recall, but
Yeah.
He does that. But then later, after there's the fire explosion, that one that goes off by mistake, he draws the alien away from them so everyone else can escape. He actually does have a Boromir moment of his own, but you would never know that. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to notice that character did anything noteworthy or that there was any sort of arc there. Like, it's just by happenstance because, again, these prisoners are faceless.
Yeah, they're
generic, interchangeable.
Carbon copies, yeah.
Totally. But yeah, I guess he gets a mild Boromir shout out.
I think that was in the extended version.
Maybe. Who are we giving a Boromir here to? Anybody? Are any of these deserving?
Well, I think Ripley deserves it.
Let's just give it. I'm fine just giving it to Ripley.
Yeah.
And moving on because
I mean,
I don't like any of these other characters.
if Wayland Corporation got it, we'd be dealing with the xenomorphs right now.
So at one point they're yelling at this dude to shut the door, shut the door, shut the door. And it's like, and he hesitates and he doesn't, and there's an alien like right there. It could attack him at any time. He doesn't press the button. He finally presses the button. What took him so long to press the button?
I don't.
It's like it was right next to him.
Yeah, his hand was literally right next to it, and it was creating tension for the sake of trying to create tension. That's it. But like earlier in this sequence, the alien almost goes into the piston room, and then smart enough to like, no, I don't want to go in here. But then later it just does.
Yeah, the aliens.
It doesn't make any sense.
The aliens' motivations don't make a lot of sense in this movie. So they do chase it. They finally coerce it into the place where they pour lead on it. It comes flying out of the lead.
There's
like
no
Michael
way.
Jordan.
Yeah,
like it comes flying out like Air Jordan out of the lead. Then they hit it with some ice cold sprinkler water, I guess. And it turned like that makes it explode. Did that make any sense?
I mean, it makes sense, like the science of
The hot and cold.
The hot and cold, yes. But there's, like, I have no idea how hot it has to be to melt lead, but it's got to be so hot, right?
Like lead seems like it's hot. I mean,
it's very
it doesn't
dense.
like fire. It doesn't like fire. Seems like lead, also hot.
Yeah,
would be something it wouldn't like.
Like if it's carbon based at all, which I'm led to believe because it clearly breathes air and yada yada yada.
Led to believe.
That deserves a bell.
We don't have canned laughter. That's what we need. We need canned laughter.
There's no way it survives that hot lead. It just doesn't.
No.
You know.
And so then it does explode. Like, I mean, it's like we have to wait another extra 10 seconds for it to die. But
and that's the whole point. Like, why do that?
The
lead was very satisfying.
The lead was well, was it satisfying? Did you find the? So you did find the lead death satisfying?
I thought it looked cool, like when there's a shot of it all coming down and Ripley's off to the side looking away.
The only thing is, I don't think we saw the alien actually get hit with it. Like we were just supposed to.
We just saw it. Yeah, you do see it.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you do see it. Go back about 10 seconds here. Go there.
Okay, we do see it get hit. I don't think we see it. I'm pretty sure we don't. Okay, yes, we do. We do. Definitely. There it is. Thanks for pointing that out, Derek. So, I mean, yeah, fairly satisfying. I guess.
I guess seeing it explode is always nice.
Compared to the other Alien movies before this.
Right, yeah.
It just feels like it's
Yes.
not quite up to the same level, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't have to go on. We know what happens in the other movies, but yeah, I just have that he gets bashed by the wrench. Ripley swan dives into the molten lava. To the point, this movie comes out 1 year after Terminator 2.
Thank you.
We have a great lava death scene for the hero. It's repeated here. This does not look nearly as good. I mean, it looks awful.
They even have nitroglycerin, or not nitroglycerin, but a frozen bad guy blow up.
Totally.
That's the exact same ending. No, but her falling into the furnace, because I don't think it's lava. I think it's fire.
Right.
But it looks terrible.
Yeah.
The version that I saw, like, it looked... You shouldn't have done it.
No. They should have... It's like you have to look at that and be like, this doesn't look good.
Yeah. Like,
but hey, a little splash of color. A splash of orange. Something away from our brown...
Our muted earth tone brown.
Palette, yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
So, a chance for us to highlight the best parts of Alien 3. Derek.
Or parts of Alien 3. Number 5. At one point, there's 3 guys in the tunnels. They're looking... I don't know what they're looking for. They're just walking around. They're looking for one of the guys who got killed.
Yes.
They're walking. They keep talking about how dark it is.
Yeah.
They keep talking about the candles go out. We won't be able to see, but the candles aren't going out. This is the brightest Aliens movie they've ever made.
Totally.
And they keep talking about how dark it is.
Yeah.
What is going on? There's light all the time. We see the alien way more clearly here than any other movie.
True. And it hurts the movie.
It hurts the movie, but they keep talking about how dark it is, so it was annoying. Number 4.
Number 4.
When they're setting up at the end, trying to get all the tunnels organized, whatever, one guy is running through with a pair of scissors like the wrong way, and another inmate stops him. What the hell are you doing? You're going to kill somebody. And he flips them around in his hand.
That's dangerous.
I mean, that's care. Okay, the scariest part of the movie for me was when Ripley was looking for the alien and she went on the hunt for it and she hit the pipe and all those disgusting bugs.
Did she think that was the alien? What happened there?
She thought it was the alien, and she thought an alien that didn't get killed by molten lead was going to die from a poke to the head.
I mean, I was wondering, like, if it was just sitting there, could you stab it with a pole in the head and kill it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Number 3.
Number 2. Number 2. You just brought it up at the end. You kind of ruined it for me. But whole T2, reproduction, the freezing, the shattering, and then the molten lava like falling into it death scene. I mean, a year later for like a franchise movie like this, it's so obvious.
That just stealing. Trying to steal the vibe. Totally.
Okay.
Number 1.
Number 1. This isn't from the movie, but I got a few of the taglines for this movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go.
They're so... Okay. One of them. 3 times the suspense. 3 times the danger. 3 times the terror. Another one.
I didn't feel any of that.
No.
Okay.
Another
Next.
one. Our worst fears have come true. It's back.
Oh, no.
In 1979, it came from within. In 1986, it was gone forever. In 1992, our worst fears have come true. It's back.
I think it'd be like, our worst fears are true. It came out of a cow / Rottweiler.
Okay, here's the last one. In 1979, we discovered in space, no one can hear you scream. In 1992, we will discover on Earth, everyone can hear you scream, which is not true. And also, it's not on Earth.
No, it never makes it to Earth. Not even close. That's disingenuous. All right, good list, Derek. Good job. Outside looking in, I'm just going to say, I thought the effect with Bishop when she plugged in old Bishop looked pretty good.
That was actually cool. Yeah.
You know, I think the animatronic stuff, the puppet stuff in this movie's pretty good. Again, like, but just completely overshadowed. Like, it's hard to enjoy that when the other half of the alien is bad CGI. I have to stop harping on it because I've mentioned it 1,000 times. Number 5. The corporation almost never communicates with these people, but when they're trying to figure out if they want to, they're talking about terminating the alien. They're like, "Don't do it." They're like, they respond to them immediately. Like, they don't care about them until there's a potential alien they could have. It's like, now we care. Yeah, cigarettes. 3 guys are out on an excursion. One guy's just so happy to find a cache of cigarettes. Number 3, Ripley basically demands sex.
Yeah.
It's like how strong she comes on. It's like, oh, yeah.
I mean, why not?
Why not? Number 2, Ripley. She's told to shave her head. We're told lice is a problem at this facility. Listen, there's a cremation service, and then boom, we pan to she's now got a head shaved. This is more of a complaint. We're denied a Ripley shaving her head scene.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
I thought the same thing. Like, we just see her wipe the mirror and her head shaved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you got it in your fancy director's cut.
I need to see the clippers. I need to see the head being shaved. I need to see the hair falling to the floor. You know what I mean?
Dramatic, yeah.
She has to be looking to the mirror while she's doing it. Kind of a deep breath before she takes that first cut. Denied. This is a complaint, straight up. And my number 1. When Ripley finds out she's the lone survivor of the crash, so Higgs, Newt, and Bishop are all dead, I gotta say, she's not real broken up. Almost no emotion.
Oh, she was pretty broken up.
Nah.
I mean, she broke down when she saw Newt.
Later.
Yeah.
Much later.
When they're doing the autopsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's like, okay. She kind of took it very matter-of-factly, and that's her top 5.
But to be fair, she didn't know them that well. She knew Newt for like a day.
There was that whole like Survivor thing going through trauma together.
Yeah.
How dare you? That was our top 5.
3, 2, 1.
I guess we can talk quickly about our bad guy.
Okay.
You only knew the power of the dark side.
I'm a killer. I'm a murdering bastard. You know that?
I expect you to die.
So I guess our bad guy's the alien.
The Wayland Corporation. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No, I mean
they are, but
they kind of always are, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the overarching theme. But, you know, who represents the bad guy? Like Bishop? Does he represent the bad guy? I mean, let's just focus on the alien.
Yeah.
What do you think of the alien as far as the aliens go?
I still think the Xenomorph is a great monster. One of the greatest movie monsters.
Totally.
Just what you said, when it's a puppet or when it's a practical alien, I think it looks great. There's a couple of scenes where, particularly at the end, where Ripley's like grabbing its tail. You're just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But no, when it was like right up against Ripley's face, that was so good.
Yeah.
You know, I still think the Xenomorph is scary, but for this movie, the CGI is just so bad. It's just so bad that it loses a lot. It makes it look incredibly skinny.
I mean, we're to understand that it's growing. You know, it's getting bigger, and I think part of the idea with it birthing itself from either a cow or a Rottweiler was the idea that it's now got 4 legs.
It's gonna be
the way
different,
it was moving. But it didn't need that because it doesn't make any difference. Like, it's still, like in the other movies, it breeded with a human that was still chasing them just fine. It doesn't make it any more dangerous in any way. It doesn't change anything about it. And all it does is makes it seem like they feel they have to show it more. It's like, okay, it breeded with a 4-legged creature, so now we have to show you it moving like a 4-legged creature. But we can only do that with CGI, and when we show you that, it looks awful and it's not scary.
That was a bad choice.
Just generally showing too much of the monster. I mean, that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the Jaws principle.
The Jaws effect, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just save it. So overall, Alien, just I couldn't be scared of it.
I wasn't. Yeah, not scared of it at all.
Okay, and now we're getting into what I think potentially will be the highlight of the show, or at least the highlight of where this movie is strongest, and that is our best deaths. Didn't list them all. I think they're better earlier on, so I'll just list. Well, here's what I've got.
Yeah.
So there's the worker in the shaft. Here's a noise and looks into the compartment. Then he gets acid in the face. This is very early on. I think it's the first death.
Yeah.
Gets the acid in the face, falls down the shaft into like where there's the fan, the humongous fan.
Always a good death.
He's turned into goo.
Yeah, always a good death.
And then they're inspecting after. They're just like bits of him all over the tunnel. Pretty gross. 3 guys are checking the candles you mentioned earlier. The one guy gets away is kind of the guy who's the murderer, so they think that he killed them. But the first guy gets picked off pretty quickly. The second guy, his head is crushed and then explodes onto the other guy's face.
Yeah.
Pretty gross, but pretty, I gotta be honest, pretty cool death.
Yeah.
Tywin's death, pretty quick.
Very quick, but good.
But a good, like, shot of a hole in his head.
Absolutely. It was good.
And then Ripley tries to warn all the prisoners during their service that there's an alien. And then, it's when the head guy of the jail, the alien drops down and just grabs him seconds after he says, there is no alien. If I had to pick one of those, the big fan is tempting, but just the grossness of the guy's head exploding onto the other guy. I'm going to go with that one. Did I miss any? What was your favorite death?
You missed...
I missed a bunch.
Well, this is a smaller one, but okay, I'm going to try to say his name. Pete Postlethwaite? White?
Sure.
Okay. One of the faceless bald men.
I'm hitting things I'm not supposed to be hitting.
He's closing all the doors towards the end, and he... Excuse me.
Sorry.
He turns around and the alien's there, and then the camera goes to the other side of the door, and you see the alien's second mouth come out the window.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't see it, but you know that thing went right through his head.
That was actually kind of cool when it just appeared behind him. Yeah, I agree with that. It was kind of like, oh, I don't know, how did it get there, though? I mean...
Oh, we have no idea. Yeah. They're just closing random doors. I mean, we have no idea.
That's a fact. That is confirmed.
And then the other one that I liked, and I think I'm going to go with, is because you see a lot of it, is towards the end when there's one of the other inmates left, when they're trying to lead it to the piston.
Yeah.
He's running to it, and they're like, run faster! And then he doesn't make it, and I don't know what the alien does to him, but he explodes. Like a leg goes flying into the piston room, and I'm basically voting for that one because of the leg.
All right, fair enough. There's, I mean, it's, I think the best part of this movie, again, like, there's some cool deaths, and again, like, that's where it's like, there is a way better movie here.
Yes.
If the parts work better, if there weren't, if the studio wasn't pressuring and putting all these deadlines on poor David Fincher.
Yeah, totally.
There is a better movie. So, Derek, we've reached the stage. The music's tense. There's a reason why. We're deciding Alien 3's future. Derek, would you like to go first? How are you feeling about Alien 3?
Feeling pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. Because, I mean, this is kind of an easy decision, right? Because
you're not feeling good about the movie. You're feeling good about your decision.
Yes,
and how
exactly.
Easy it is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with my decision. So basically, I agree with you. There is moments where, or more than moments, there's times where this movie is a good movie. The acting is okay, especially like the relationship between Lannister and Sigourney Weaver or Ripley is good. Like, I do like them, but then they kill them off at the worst time. They could have done that at the end, but it's pretty easy that this movie is not that actiony. There's not a lot of great action scenes in it, although it's not very scary, so it's not a great horror movie. So for me, no, this is not a classic. This is a pretty easy no for me.
Dylan, Clemens, Golik, Andrews, Aaron, Morris, Raines, Jr., Murphy, Frank, Boggs, Jude, David, Troy, William, Gregor, Arthur, Kevin, and Eric. I don't care about any of these people. you mentioned the word bland going into the start of this podcast. That's the perfect word to describe just the set. You know, these names could not be more generic. I could not care less about them. The CGI of the aliens bad.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand any of the plans, any of the traps. I don't understand.
No, we understand it. They just don't show it to. They just show us a bunch of random hallways.
Yes, but I want to know. Like, I want to be like.
I agree. Yeah,
I want to be in on the plan. I want to have a sense in my mind of what they're doing.
Yeah, what happens if this guy screws up? Oh, okay.
And I don't understand why they don't use Ripley to better effect to save them if they know that they're not going to hurt. If the alien's not going to hurt her, like.
Yes.
That's a big advantage. Use that somehow.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a better plan. They could have saved everybody with that information. Also, I'm not sure if this is actually an action movie or not. I mean, which is a big issue if you're trying to get into the Action Movie Hall of Fame.
Well, it is listed. I'm just saying.
Fair. But I think Tremors, for example, listed as more of a horror. I don't think it's listed as action. Is in our Action Movie Hall of Fame. Lots of great action.
Yes. Yes.
You know, if you're looking, so I'm a no. Let's just
shocking.
Cut right to it.
Shocking.
This is a no. But listen, if you're looking to scratch the itch of like an outer space horror sci-fi alien movie, you know, this will do in a pinch if you're just looking for a popcorn movie. But it's not a Hall of Fame movie.
No, definitely not.
Better than I was kind of expecting, but lots of things that
I will give it that.
There's just so many things that it's easy to get worked up over and be like, this is awful.
Yeah.
But what are we trying to say here? I'm trying to walk two lines, but
I mean,
it's just not in. It's just not in.
It would be a 2 explosion movie, I think. Maybe 1.5. Like, it's just not entertaining enough.
No. And, you know, the story, again, we love Ripley, but everyone else is just completely indispensable. Okay, everyone, that is a wrap on this week's episode of the Action Movie Hall of Fame. Visit us on Twitter at ActionMovieHOF or at ActionMovieHallOfFame.com.
And please tell your friends and family to how much fun we have on the podcast and how much you enjoy listening to us.
Yeah, and you know, rate and review all that stuff that people tell you to do on other podcasts, but in a much more polished way. We'll make sure the start of your week is always action-packed with a new episode out every Monday. So, Derek, what should people prepare for next week?
Next week, we're staying on the alien train.
Oh, dear.
We're reviewing 1997's Alien Resurrection.
She's back. People are screaming on Earth, maybe. I forget where they are.
I have no idea.
Ripley died. I don't know how she's coming back.
Resurrection?
I mean, I understand what the word resurrection means. I don't understand how it applies. Until next time, keep fit and have fun.
Thank you. Happy trails, Hans.
Anara.
Court's adjourned.
Get off my plane.
Hasta la vista, baby.